All right. So let's go to his dashboard. So like the things I'm gonna watch are the freaking lectures. And like on the lectures, he has all of this, all of these lectures, right? The Jeffrey Epstein, I already watched that on this YouTube. So like human trafficking, yeah, I need to watch that one. Illuminati hip hop is probably I need to watch that one. Catholic Catholicism. I mean, I already know about that. Wiccan, Luciferian, and Freemason. I need to watch that one. Scientology. I know Hinduism. I need to watch. And yo, VB, she right.
Um, is it okay that I know what's going on?
Uh, yeah, that's all right. Like, I'm just streaming off of Young Pharaoh's freaking website that I'm just like,
Oh, he has a website. Cool. Yeah.
huh?
He has a website.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, you need to like, yeah, you need to pay $20 a month. So I'm like, you know what? Let me pay for it because I'm about to get paid. Like, bro, like, let me pay for it and stream it in the Discord.
All right, I'm gonna pay for it.
I mean, you don't have to because I'm gonna be like streaming it right here. Yeah,
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, like all the videos that like I'm gonna be watching on this, like I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be streaming in this VC. All right, yo, VB, she
What's
ready?
good, bro?
Hold up,
Yo, what
V
is this?
Young Pharaoh. Did you not hear me?
Nah, I just got back. I just joined. Literally just joined.
It's Young Pharaoh's website that I had to pay for, so you guys can watch for free. All right, VB, so you ready?
Well, how long is this though?
2 hours.
Alright.
VB's. VB's, you're muted. All right, well. Hello, VB's? I'm just trying to wait for this nigga. All right, well,
Beast Boy.
go. Let me just go right here. All right.
All right, I'm getting ready to change to the next slide. Hopefully, you grab this book. If not, ask somebody in the chat what's the name of it. Now, with that being said, next book. This book right here, okay, is called The God Awakening Diet, right? By, if I'm saying the brother's name correctly, Akil Anis. Aniys for his last name. First name Aqiyl. This book is also on Amazon. As you can see, it says recipes included. Now, this brother right here, I want to say was a student of Dr. Sebi. This book right here was also mentioned on Dr. Sebi's website when he was alive before they corrupted it and did what they did to occur. So with that being said, this book not only has specific diseases as well as diets to cure them, this book also has a recipe list as well. And last but not least, this book has actual advice and vegan suggestions from Dr. Sebi himself in this book. So this is another great book to get, right? And I'm going to give you guys 15 seconds again to get this book down in your arsenal so that you can purchase this book when you're ready. So go ahead and I'll give you time to do that. All right, we're going on to the next book now. Okay, last but not least, the last book I'm going to show. All right, newly revised and expanded, right? A guide to controlling the pH levels of your body for health and longevity. This book is titled The Acid Alkaline Food Guide, a quick reference to foods and their effect on pH levels, second edition, by Dr. Susan E. Brown, right? And Larry Trevor Jr. Now, what this book does, family, is it gives you a list of any and every food you can think of, from alkaline to acidic, and it tells you the exact pH level of the food. So when you're in the grocery store, when you see bananas, you can open this book up, go to bananas, and it'll tell you the exact pH level of banana. So with that being said, now you can learn the detail, the pH levels in detail of each vegetable, walnut, peanut, goddamn cherry, chicken, turkey, anything that you can digest, right, as a food. This book has the pH level of that food in it, and now you can shop as alkaline as possible. So with that being said, I'm gonna give y'all 15 seconds to get this book, and after this, we are jumping straight into the PowerPoint presentation. I would like to mention again, I don't give anyone advice that I myself don't take. All of these books that I've shown you, if I wanted to, I can grab them right now and put them right in front of the screen. So that being said, I have purchased every book that I have shown y'all, and I hope that these books can guide you, you know, to where you want to be as far as your vegan journey and getting off of meat as best as possible. So I'm gonna give y'all 15 seconds to grab this book, and then after that, I'm going in. All right, time to get it in. Time to get it in. Time to get it in. All right, now y'all know how I do. So don't come on here playing. Y'all know how I do. Now, I'm gonna give y'all the warning right now. I wrote a lot of shit in these PowerPoint slides. If you cannot read the words, that is okay. I'm gonna read them to you. So don't worry, you're not gonna miss anything. My biggest thing is that you're able to see the pictures and that you're able to see the video. The words will be given to you by means of audio straight from me. So with that being said, let's get it in. Now, in this PowerPoint presentation in order, we'll be breaking down the spiritual connection, right? The spiritual connection between blacks, our higher selves, and the food we eat. We'll be breaking down the spiritual importance of animals, fruits, and vegetable souls. We'll be breaking down the difference between blacks and whites pertaining to the digestive and spiritual systems. We'll be breaking down how food directly is associated with and affects each chakra and system of the body. We'll be breaking down the true origins of the pig and its hidden health problems. We'll be breaking down the physical and spiritual effects of meat. We'll be breaking down the spiritual effects of alcohol. We'll be breaking down the animal energies manifested by eating meat and its effect on our black community. We'll be breaking down how heaven and hell are states of your eternal being. We'll be breaking down the difference between physical, mental, and spiritual food. And last, we'll be breaking down the benefits of getting back to our natural diets. So with that being said, family, fasten your seatbelt, because y'all know how I do. We going on a hell of an intellectual ride tonight. Now with that being said, let's get it in. Let's get it in. All the games, it's time to go in now. The spiritual connection of blacks, food, and the universe. We are connected to and access our higher selves through the chakras. Chakras are energy vortex wheels which commute spiritual energy to and from the spiritual and physical realms. Our chakras are powered by electricity. Alkaline foods are electric and give our bodies and spirits extra electrical power. The chakras are your personal electromagnetic spectrum. We are all miniature suns. Melanin is condensed sunlight. Now, why is this important? Because before I can show you how alkaline food energizes you and why you should eat it for spiritual means, I have to first show you how you are connected directly to the solar system to show you how you are being spiritually affected by what it is you eat in regards to how that's affecting your connection to the solar system. So that being said, okay, next slide. Now, physical reality, right? Because everything that's physical starts off metaphysical, aka spiritual. So with that being said, physical reality is governed by the sun, period, right? At 432 megahertz frequency, right, physical reality is created. So this is 432 megahertz frequency. Now, let me give y'all the science. This is read from right to left. So I know y'all accustomed to reading from left to right, but we're going to read this from right to left. So just for your benefit, I'm going to come over here to show you, right? This is a radio wave, right? This is the first spectrum of the sun. Now, what you're looking at is called the electromagnetic spectrum of the sun, right? And it has different stages, as you can see. Radio waves is the first stage of the electromagnetic spectrum of the sun. Now, when you look up the definition of radio waves, it's going to tell you electrical signals carrying specifically that which is known as sound messages. So this is when the universe actually begins to speak itself into existence. So now, why is it important? As the universe begins to speak the sun into existence, right? The radio wave frequency of the sun begins to vibrate higher and higher and higher, increasing in its velocity. So now, when we get to 432 terahertz frequency, physical reality is created. Now, physical reality is created within what we know is the visible light spectrum of the sun. Now, let me break down what terahertz is. Tera, right, means trillion. So a hertz is how many times you can count an electromagnetic wave. So just the abbreviation of hertz would be from 1 to 100. So you have, for example, let's say kilohertz. Kilo means 1,000. So that would be 1,000 electromagnetic waves per second. So that being said, you have gigahertz. So that would be a billion. So when we get to terahertz, right, that would be a trillion. So 1 terahertz would be one electromagnetic wave smacking against its own self 1,000 times every 1 second. So as you can see, here will be 1 terahertz frequency. Now, as the sun begins to vibrate to 432 terahertz, it begins to create physical reality. And all things physical start off as heat signatures, aka color. This is why the government, when they got them binoculars and them heat-seeking goggles, they can see you even in the night because they're seeing the true essence of who you are, which is your aura. So that being said, aka is also called your biofield, which I'll be showing later on in this lecture. So that being said, here is the intervals and the terahertz frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum. So once this electromagnetic wave gets to the middle of the electromagnetic spectrum, you come into what is known as the visible light spectrum. And that brings you here now, right? So from the color red, start from 400 to anywhere from 405 to 480 terahertz frequency. And then anything from 480 to 510 terahertz frequency brings you to orange. Anything from 510 to 530 terahertz frequency brings you to yellow. Anything from 530 to 580 terahertz frequency brings you to green. Anything from 580 to 600 terahertz frequency brings you to baby blue. Anything from 600 to 700 terahertz frequency brings you to, let's say, navy blue or indigo blue. And then anything from 700 to 790 terahertz frequency brings you to purple. Now, why is this important? You have 7 colors in a rainbow. You have 7 colors in the electromagnetic spectrum or the visible light spectrum located within the middle of the electromagnetic spectrum. You also have 7 chakras. Now, each of your chakras are connected directly to different terahertz frequencies of the visible light spectrum. So just like 405 to 480 terahertz frequency is red, this is also the lowest level of your own intelligence. We can prove through the study of cymatics as well as quantum physics and quantum science and quantum theology that the sun actually carries intelligence. And you interact with the intelligent electromagnetic intervals of the sun depending upon which chakra you're existing in. So this is important because when what I'll be showing later on in this PowerPoint is when you look at the pH scale is also the color of the rainbow. And all acidic food is red, and all alkaline food is purple. And depending upon what you eat, it puts you in different intervals of yourself, and this dictates how much intelligence and spiritual frequency you have accessible to you. So that being said, melanin is condensed sunlight. As you can see over here, once the sun gets to vibrating past 800 terahertz frequency, it begins to solidify into today what we can look at ourselves and physically touch and know to be as what we call melanin. So that being said, you are a condensed sun. This is why our Egyptian ancestors called themselves children of the sun. And what you eat is actually supposed to be energizing you to allow you to have a better communicative relationship with the solar system, period. Now, with that being said, color is just a vibration of sound. Each color is a plane where spirits exist. The root chakra is the lowest plane. So when they say you live in your lowest self, you have spiritual deities or entities or let's just say spiritual beings who carry certain modes of intelligence that live within each spectrum of the sun. So even at certain times of day, certain visible light spectrums of the sun are more accessible through means of ritual than others, which I'll go into. But with that being said, depending upon what you eat, push you on a certain plane out of this visible light spectrum. And depending upon what plane you on, will determine what levels of intelligent entities you're dealing with. So if you in your lower motherfucking self all day, or you down here in the red, or you eating acidic food all day, 9 times out of 10 you are being influenced by the lowest level of intellect in regards to spiritual entities that you attract to yourself. So that being said, your diet is not just because shit tastes good. Your diet is not just because, oh, I like to eat this because it makes me feel good. You are supposed to be eating to energize your body, right, through the mode or means of electricity, as well as to give yourself a better medium of communication or a better means of communication with the spirit world, with your ancestors, with your spirit guide, etc. Whoever you like to talk to, that's your business. So with that being said, let's go. All right, here we go. Destroying. Oh, hold on. I done went too far now because I want to show y'all. Okay, so now y'all see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna come back over here now. As you can see, the highest level of the visible light spectrum, purple. Your crown chakra, purple, right? 6th chakra, 5th chakra, 4th chakra, 3rd chakra, 2nd chakra, 1st chakra, all in perfect peak energetic signaturized harmony with the visible light spectrum. So your 1st chakra is connected to the sun through 405 to 480 terahertz. All right. Your 2nd chakra is connected to the sun from any interval from 480 to 510 terahertz. Heart chakra. Y'all hear me say in my videos all the time. We're moving in a dimension where the sun is only vibrating and will allow you to exist at 578 hertz frequency and above. As you can see, the heart chakra, which is green, the green spectrum of the sun is anything from 530 to 508 terahertz. So we're talking about consciousness. Your consciousness comes from the sun. Your body is powered by the sun. I want y'all, when y'all done with this, I want y'all to go look up solar paralysis. Solar paralysis is a disease where every night at 12 a.m., people literally become paralyzed. Of course, not Africans, but people literally become paralyzed, and they're not able to move until 12 p.m. the next day, where the sun is at its zenith, which is the highest point in the sky. So this proves that your body is not only powered by the sun, it's hooked up to the sun. Your body is the puppet, and the solar system is the puppet master, period. And what you eat will determine how strong your connection is as the puppet to your puppet master. So let's say your spiritual connection will be the strings. And if you eat bullshit, you're dancing on some weak strings. Period. Now let's keep it kicking now. Let's keep it moving. All right. Destroying the chakra and spiritual connection, right? Destroying the chakra in spiritual connection. Here we go. The foods we eat and drink damage our organs, as well as endocrine system, which connect us physically to our chakras. This in turn disrupts our chakra connection with the sun, which in turn disrupts our connection with our higher selves. Once the chakras are off balance or disconnected, you become either disconnected from or stuck on certain planes. Remember, entities are like beings, such as us without our bodies. They exist within different planes of the electromagnetic spectrum, of which our chakras connect us to. If our diet is acidic, then we will be vibrating within the lowest levels spiritually and continue to be susceptible to negative entities, as well as the manipulation of the Caucasian, which I'll go into. 85% of whites have calcified pineal glands and cannot access the spiritual realms. Therefore, due to their lack of melanin and calcified pineal glands, they have created an unhealthy dietary plan to keep us vibrating on the same level that they are on. Now, let me break this down, right? Let me break this down. All right, next slide. Animals have souls, because I'm going to be going into biologically and on a scales of dietary plans, how we've been manipulated by the European. But I want y'all to understand something psychologically, how you have become a beast and an animal, right? Now, you eat food as a consumer in this wicked ass country. Now, why is it important? You are ignorant to the fact that you're eating someone's brother, you're eating someone's auntie, you're eating someone's son, someone's daughter. Animals have feelings just like you. And you have become so out of tune with nature that you have become an incompetent, ignorant, non-empathetic beast, just like the motherfucking oppressor who has oppressed you. And now you don't eat to survive. You don't eat because you have to. You eat because you're gluttonous and you're greedy and you're too lazy to put yourself on a diet that's not only more healthy for you, but more healthy for the environment. So that being said, I want everybody to understand how much of a motherfucking savage you have really become by means of way of by way of accepting the Europeans' dietary plan for the African god and goddess. Now watch this, right? Sentient, by definition, right, means able to perceive or feel things, right? Animals are sentient beings. They are able to perceive and feel things. Now watch this. The body is just a vehicle for the soul. Animals contain souls and are sentient beings. They have feelings, organs, and life purposes just as we do. When you kill or hunt one, you are ignorantly killing someone's family member. By taking on the psychology of the Caucasian, we have by default disconnected ourselves from nature, and by doing so, we now ignorantly consume, fear, and destroy animal life just as he does. Now, when you say, Pharaoh, the ancestors ate meat, and the ancestors blah 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 blah, I got something for that ass. See, when we talk about the ancestors, and we know that we was the original people over here, we know that it was Africans all over the world. We know that. We don't need a history lesson. So that's why this says the Indians/Africans knew that animals had souls. Indians came from when the Europeans came over here and they seen people that was look just like motherfuckers they seen in Africa, and they called us Indians because it comes from the word indigo, which meant blue black. Because if you ever see a real black African, they damn near look blue. So that being said, the term Indian means black and comes from the word indigo, which was first used in 1289 by a white Englishman. Our ancestors wasted no parts of any animal and meditated for every animal that they killed. They only killed and ate what they needed, and they wasted nothing. Now, why is this important? Because this shows you that our ancestors were not only conscious of what they were eating, they were conscious to the fact that they were committing murder. They were taking a life. But no vegetables grow in the wintertime. So they say this is all we have to eat. So since we have to eat this in honor of the animal that we killed, we're going to use every single part of this animal so that his life was not taken in vain. So you see, you niggas eat chicken, don't even eat the whole motherfucker, and just throw the bitch out. Y'all some wasteful, gluttonous hoes, and y'all some ignorant bastards. Y'all just eat half the steak, throw the motherfucker in the garbage. Meanwhile, our ancestors would catch a buffalo, and the parts that they didn't eat, they made a teepee out of them. They made a hide rattle. They made a bow and arrow. They made a robe. They made a helmet. They made a pouch. They made a horn spoon. They made a cup. They made a tooth necklace. They made a shield for war. They made a stone club wrapped in rawhide. They made moccasin shoes that some of you niggas still wear today. They made a whole little bull boat to wash their babies. Okay, they made a club out of the bones. They made a bag out of the stomach. Okay, they made a bone scraper, and they made a boiling pot, and they made a saddle for their horse. And this is just some of the goddamn things that we could fit in the diagram to show you. So this goes to show you that our ancestors were in tune spiritually with even their diet. Nobody eats just to eat because it tastes good. You eat to replenish the body. And you're not supposed to be eating animals because they're sentient beings. If you're a god, see, we're supposed to be able to perform what is known as human photosynthesis, where we digest photons and convert those into food energy directly from the sun. But we've been vibrating so low and in unhealthy environments, and we spend so much time inside, we haven't been using the photoreceptors located within the epidermis layer of our skin, which is the top layer of our skin, for them to become fully active for us to perform this feat. So with that being said, don't worry, family, I got y'all. But I want to bring y'all back to consciousness. Because when we talk about spirit diet, this is a prime example, straight from the ancestors, straight from the eating habits of our African ancestors, period. Now let me keep it moving, right? Animals have feelings, right? And you might say, Pharaoh, come with the science. I'm coming with the science. But first I have to show you how you have become a motherfucking savage. Because if you give information, if you give a gun to a savage, they'll do what a savage does with a gun. If I can give you all the alkaline science you want to know, but if you're still a savage, you will not apply it. You will do what a savage does with information. So I have to deprogram you and make you want to come back into the African way of life in regards to your dietary plan, so that when I give you the information, you can digest that properly. Now, animals have feelings, right? When I look into the eyes of an animal, I do not see an animal. I see a living being. I see a friend. I see a soul. Not some of you niggas. Some of all you niggas see is a motherfucking animal that you can kill and poach and sell a goddamn tusk for to the motherfucking European. Now, with that being said, National Geographic, right? Straight out of National Geographic. Do animals get depressed, right? Now, the reason I chose this article was to show you that animals feel and think just like you do. So how about if I come in your house and I just motherfucking chop your ass up, put some seasoning on you, and eat you? You don't think your family's gonna care? So the same way that your family will feel that loss, like damn, you just ate my brother, you just ate my sister, you just ate my mother, you just ate my father. That's the same way animals feel. Now watch this. Here we go. This is example number 1, right? Do animals get depressed? There are certain aspects of the disease that may be measured in animals. One of the core symptoms of depression is anhedonia, the decrease and loss of interest in pleasurable activities. We measure interest in food that animals like a lot, or a motivation for sexual activity. We also measure how they are interacting socially with other animals in the group, and changes in sleep patterns and daytime activities. Another behavior that has been used frequently to measure animal depression is whether they readily give up when exposed to stressful situations. So now why is it important? Because I'm going to be breaking down how you are what you eat. And your body produces biochemicals predicated upon the nutrients that it digests out of the food. And the state that the food is in upon digestion is the energy that you digest. So let's say the last one, for example, right? Depression is whether they readily, let me start up a little higher. And changes in sleep patterns and daytime activities. Another behavior that has been used frequently to measure animal depression is whether they readily give up when exposed to a stressful situation. So how many of you niggas like to give up or don't even try? Fuck give up. You niggas don't even try. So now why is it important? Do y'all know what the fuck they put this food through before they give it to you? Do y'all know how they got them chickens living? Do y'all know how they got them cows really living before they give y'all the goddamn food to eat? And then you digest the fear, and you digest the depression, and you digest the self-negative psychology of the animal, and then you become that, and you wonder why our community is fucked up as a whole. Because you are what you eat. You are the emotional, psychological, and physiological, digester of what it is you putting in your mouth. Period. Now here we go. One more to show y'all to drive my point home, that animals have feelings. Here we go.
The reason that it stands out in people's memories is because there's an emotional surprise there. There's a giant gorilla with a tiny, tiny, tiny helpless kitten, and being gentle and loving toward that kitten.
Coco rhymed a name for her new kitten. She called him All Ball because to her the cat looked like a little ball. Coco adored All Ball, and they spent countless hours playing together. And yet, it was by loving the little tailless kitten that Coco learned one of life's hardest lessons. One evening, All Ball was tragically killed on a nearby logging road. Coco was heartbroken.
Coco, all wrong. I went in right away and I said, Coco, something's happened to your kitty and he won't be here anymore. The cat has died.
Penny stayed with Coco to comfort her. Coco expressed her grief.
Okay, so I wanted to prove my point that, okay, animals clearly have feelings. So now I've been massaging your mind, all right, with the trials and plights that they put these animals through in these major, meat industries, and how animals can perceive feeling. I have proved that beyond a reasonable doubt. Now I'm going to be using that to back up my argument for the first couple slides, right? Here we go. There is no such thing as dead meat, right? Meat is dead, meaning it no longer contains a life force. Oxygen is the pervading life force energy of the universe. It sustains all life. Dead animals no longer sustain life. So why do you think eating a corpse will sustain yours? Why? This is Jimmy right here. Jimmy is dead as a motherfucker. As you can see, Jimmy's out of there. All right? But some of you niggas go to the grocery store and you say, "Ooh, that's a good looking piece of meat right there. Get that. Throw that in the cart. That shit red and juicy." This is dead. This is dead. It has no life force. If it's not breathing, which I'm going to show and prove that vegetables actually breathe, then they're not adding on to your spirit. Anything that has a nervous system conducts electricity. And anything that conducts electricity has a respiratory system, which means it breathes. And anything that breathes takes in the life force. So if you eat that which takes in life, then you yourself take in life. If you eat that which is dead and no longer is taking in life, but is a corpse, then you are helping yourself to become a motherfucking corpse. So that being said, you can't wash up in Kool-Aid and think you're going to get clean. You out of your motherfucking mind. You cannot eat dead organisms and think that you putting life into your body. You out of your goddamn mind. So that being said, I want y'all to visualize this and get this in your head, because if this was good, you would eat it in its raw state. You wouldn't have to season it and cook it a certain way to trick yourself to digest something that you wouldn't normally eat. So if you wouldn't bite into this shit, why it's like that? Why would you? What you gonna make it look and smell and taste different? This is still what you're eating. So if I sprinkle some goddamn motherfucking barbecue sauce on some shit, would you eat it? Huh? Because it tastes a little better? No, it's still shit. So this is still dead meat. It's still dead flesh. Only thing here you gonna get is a couple parasites, some tapeworms, and motherfucking cancer, because it's probably hybrid at that. So that being said, family, there is no such thing as good meat. There's no such thing as good something that's dead at all. It doesn't work like that. Now here we go. Let's keep it kicking, right? Enjoy your chicken and beef because you're eating gift wrap bullshit. See, I'm gonna give it to you raw how it looked before they package it. See, y'all too busy trying to eat this. Y'all too busy fucking with this. See, that looked good, but this is where it came from. This is how it really looked. So that being said, here go your chicken. Here go your chicken. If I put this shit on your plate like this, would you eat it? No. Look at this chicken now. Look at my man, little chick. Gone. They done killed little chick. Killed his mom, killed his wife, and nigga, he's on one of y'all plates because you niggas love motherfucking Popeyes that motherfucking much. So y'all have become savages. And these animals are paying the price at your motherfucking weakness and your own savagery. So before we go into any motherfucking sciences and all of that, I want y'all to know every time you eat some meat, you kill somebody. That's what I want you to know. You murder somebody, whether you want to accept it or not. So that's just like when Europeans, these motherfucking girls that's missing. What you think they doing with them? They ain't just sex trafficking. They eating motherfuckers too in them lodges. And they're practicing cannibalism in Europe right now in the basement of the Vatican. Right now, they're eating some young black kid. Why? Because Europeans have an unquenchable taste for melanated flesh. And you niggas have an unquenchable taste for chicken and beef. And the same way they harvesting and eating us is the same way you're harvesting and eating them. So that being said, you have become a savage, just like the savage that has ruled your funky ass mentality in this country for too goddamn long. Now here we go. They spray old meat with blood to make it fresh, to make it look fresh again, and then they put it in your grocery store. This is what you are feeding our babies. This is what you. So when you go in the grocery store and you say, "Damn, this look like some good meat. It's juicy." Motherfucker, that shit might be 2 years old, but you don't know because they just resprayed it with blood and repackaged it. So y'all got to get y'all motherfucking minds right. You're killing yourself. You're killing yourself off the diet. Now here we go. Let me show you something. One more thing. Let me help my animal friends one more time. All right? This is what you support by eating meat, right? Let me show you what you support by eating meat. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get it right. Okay.
In the next few minutes, you will be given an eye-opening look behind the closed doors of modern farms, hatcheries, and slaughter plants, revealing the journey that animals make from farm to fridge. Crowded by the thousands into filthy sheds, chickens and turkeys are denied many of their most basic natural behaviors and needs, such as fresh air and exercise. Sick or injured birds often have their necks broken. Others are clubbed to death. At the slaughter plant, the birds are dumped from their crates, then roughly snapped upside down into moving shackles by their fragile legs. From there, the birds are dragged through an electrified vat of water, which renders them paralyzed, but not necessarily unconscious. They are then pulled across a blade, which slices their throats, causing blood to pour from their necks. The egg industry subjects chicks to horrors few of us can even imagine. Because male chicks don't lay eggs and do not grow quickly enough to be raised profitably for meat, they are killed within hours after hatching. Male chicks are typically thrown into giant grinding machines while still alive. Another killing method is to drop male chicks into trash bags to be smothered or suffocated. The females have it even worse, destined for a life of prolonged cruelty. To reduce pecking induced by overcrowded living conditions, workers use a hot blade or laser to remove part of the chick's beaks. This mutilation can cause both acute and chronic pain. After debeaking, the birds are moved to cages where they will spend the rest of their lives. Nearly 95% of egg-laying hens spend their lives confined in tiny wire cages like this. The majority of today's dairy cows are confined on factory farms. Workers subject young cows to painful mutilations and amputations. Here, a worker cuts off a cow's tail, slicing through her sensitive skin, nerves, and bones without any painkillers. Injuries and illness often run rampant in filthy, disease-ridden factory farm environments. Cows too sick or injured to stand are called downers and are often left to slowly suffer and die from their injuries. Calves on dairy farms are dragged away from their mothers and violently killed, all so that humans can have the milk instead. At a fraction of their natural lifespan, the so-called spent dairy cows are prodded onto transport trucks and shipped to slaughterhouses. Unreliable stunning practices at the slaughterhouse condemn many cattle to having their throats cut, and their limbs hacked off while still alive and conscious. For nearly their entire 4-month pregnancies, mother sows are locked in narrow metal stalls barely larger than their own bodies. Soon after birth, piglets are castrated by workers who cut into their skin and rip out their testicles. Next, the workers chop off their tails. Both of these painful procedures are nearly always done without anesthesia. The piglets who become sick or injured or who are not growing quickly enough are killed. Common killing methods include being slammed headfirst into the ground. Once pigs have reached market weight, they are sent to slaughter. At the slaughterhouse, pigs are knocked in the head with a steel rod, hung upside down, and have their throats slit. Improper stunning condemns many pigs to having their throats slit while they are fully conscious and suffering. If you are at all moved by this film, please do your part. Make a commitment today to explore.
If you are at all a trifling ass meat eating motherfucker, please do your part. to stop eating meat as soon as possible so that, these animals don't continue to suffer due to the hands of the Caucasian. Please. That's what he really meant to say. If you are at a memorial barbecuing, fried chicken eating motherfucker, please have some common courtesy in your spirit as a guardian of this fucking galaxy. Stop putting these animals in a fucked up predicament because you don't want to change for the better. Please stop fucking it up for everybody else. Because what we don't understand is we're not just destroying our own lives. We destroy every other life. See, if you tell a nigga, stop drinking Pepsi, a nigga might say, well, why? It ain't hurt nobody but me. Nigga, that's a fucking lie. Because when you throw it on the ground, the plastic gonna end up on the ocean somewhere. It's gonna end up on the seagull, and the seagull gonna die. Because you like to drink motherfucking Dr. Pepper with your goofy ass. So with that being said, family, I gotta come hard body. Because when we talking about the spirit, I don't play no games with that. We have to get back to being who we are, which is primordial, infinite entities. So we cannot continue to live in willful ignorance. Not at all. See, in 2017, we can't say we don't know. And I'm gonna make sure you know, because I'm gonna put it in your face. So now y'all didn't see they ripping the nuts out of motherfucking animals with no anesthesia. Imagine if a motherfucker come rip your nuts out with no anesthesia to prepare you for somebody to eat you. So don't be ignorant. Don't be a demon. Okay? Don't be conscious of the destruction that you're causing and then turn a blind eye to it. Because that would make you no better than the motherfucker that you complain about every goddamn day. So with that being said, let's keep it kicking now. All right? All healthy foods contain a life force, right? Period. All healthy foods contain a life force. Now, all fruits, nuts, vegetables, and herbs contain the life force and are still contain the all omnipresent life force and are still breathing at the time of consumption. Just as the trees are alive and contain souls, so does the fruit that they bear. Okay? Now watch this, right? This is a diagram of an apple. Now this is from Daily Science, right? Posted July 14, 2008. Apples and pears contain pathways to breathe. Now watch this, right? This is from the European synchrotron radiation facility. Watch this summary. Pears and apples contain air pathways to breathe. The pathways are microscopic structures for oxygen supply and are key in determining the fruit's health. Researchers have visualized these pathways for the first time, therefore proving their hypothesized existence. It wasn't a hypothesized existence. Our ancestors knew what the fuck they was talking about. Now, here we go, continuing on. The results allow a better understanding of how fruit degrades after harvest and provide a scientific explanation of the everyday experience that pears are more susceptible to decay during storage. So that being said, when apples are turning brown or bananas are turning brown, it's the same way your ass is getting old. You are running out of the ability to be able to sustain a successful breath, aka to sustain your own life force. These are computer generated. This is a computer generated diagram of the microscopic lungs that exist within fruit. Here you see it on the apples. So now, why is this important? You don't see this on the goddamn meat. Okay, you didn't see this on that dead piece of meat. It's not. This is containing solar energy. This is containing an electrical current. You're supposed to eat this to energize your body. And guess what? Apples don't go through this. Okay? You don't got to worry about a motherfucker banging an apple on the ground and breaking his motherfucking neck or snatching the nuts out of an apple because you're an ignorant, glutful, bestial being at this day and time. So that being said, eat healthy, not just for you, but for the animals that you're ignorant of in regards to the torture and the experience that they're having because of your diet. So all of these mass-producing meat industries are only catering to what you're asking for. If everybody in America asks for a healthy diet, we'll become the healthiest country in the world. But since you niggas love McFucking-Donald's, and you niggas love fucking Popeyes, and you niggas lose your fucking mind on the 4th of July, nigga, animals are continuing to suffer, and therefore you are continuing to spiritually suffer because you're eating that which was not meant for you. Gods don't eat animals, okay? Animals eat animals. You know why you motherfuckers don't crawl around on the ground and eat rats? Because you're not a snake. So that being said, eat what the universe has already given for you to feast upon naturally. Here we go. Now we're gonna use third eye vision, right? To guide some of you niggas. Because before we go into the sciences, I gotta continue to snatch you motherfuckers out of the goddamn matrix, the dietary matrix that you're lost in, right? So I'm gonna hold y'all hands through common sense. Because somebody say, well, Pharaoh, how we supposed to know what we supposed to eat? Simple, nigga. Anything natural can be given back to the planet. Litter, right? All seeds, fruits, nuts, vegetables, etc. can be spilled or thrown on the ground or out the window when finished eating. Unnatural foods cannot. Just like our bodies came from our celestial Mother Earth and go back, so does all organic foods. Anything unnatural will/cannot be digested by the earth, which means it should not be digested by you. So long story short, when you say, well, how do I know what to eat? Nigga, if you can't throw it on the ground and it grow into a tree, nigga, you shouldn't be putting it inside you. If the planet Earth cannot digest it, why do you think that you can digest it? Now you see these cherries, these peaches, right? You don't even got to eat the whole cherry. You can take a bite out of it, throw it on the ground. Another animal will come finish it off. The seed will eventually become buried again, grow into another tree. Okay? But then, when you get the Fritos and Ruffles and M&M loving motherfuckers, you can't throw no goddamn M&Ms on the ground and get no goddamn M&M tree. So that being said, anything unnatural cannot be given to the planet. None of this unnatural, none of this is natural that you see. It cannot be given to our planet. If it is harmful to the planet, it is harmful to you. We are one. Us and the planet is one. Just because it tastes fruity, don't make it fruit, motherfucker. It don't. Damn near 95% of gummy treats that you eat is made with pork. But it tastes like strawberries, though. It's not a strawberry in that motherfucker. So the point is, when we dealing with our diet, okay, if you can't give it to the planet Earth, why would you give it to yourself? Why would you give it to your child? All right? And that's just, but that goes with drinks too. If you can't water plants with it, don't drink it. Huh. Duh. So it is a scientific fact that the acid in soda/pop destroys bone marrow and turns teeth yellow. Our bodies are not designed to digest the unnatural man-made chemicals contained in these foods. So, for example, your body is made to digest iron. It's made to digest, let's say, certain natural chemicals. Your body is not made to digest plastic. That's why your ass eat plastic, you will die. So that being said, do you know how much shit is in these motherfuckers that's man-made chemicals? I wish I would have put the periodic elements table chart so I could have showed you how many chemicals on there is man-made, don't even exist in nature. Do you know how much shit is in Coca-Cola that your body does not have means to digest? It's like putting sugar in your car. Your car is not meant to run off sugar. It's meant to run off gas, aka oil. So you put sugar in there, you break the car down. You niggas is constantly putting all kind of shit in your body. This is your vehicle, right? You're the driver, you're the soul. You niggas is putting shit in your vehicle that your vehicle is not even equipped to digest. And then you wonder why you keep getting cancer, diabetes, your ass can't walk, you're 60 years old and you motherfucking hunched over like a hunchback. You're not healthy because you're not upkeeping your car. This is your car. That's like you wouldn't go outside and bust your fucking windows every day, would you? No. So why would you keep putting unnatural foods inside of your vehicle and then complaining when your vehicle is not driving up the pot? So that being said, let's do the comparison, right? Natural beverages and drinks versus unnatural beverages and drinks, right? If I got a garden, you can go outside and pour this water on your garden, or you can pour these fruit smoothies on your garden. Both of these are still healthy to the plant. Go outside, motherfucker, and water your plants with some goddamn Coca-Cola and see if that motherfucker grow. See if you don't kill your whole motherfucking garden. So that being said, if plants can't digest it, and we share the same exact DNA, the formula for melanin is the same exact as a plant. The only thing that we have different is iron, and plants have magnesium. If we used to take magnesium from a plant and switch it with our iron in our blood, we would now have chlorophyll and plants will have our melanin. So technically, we are an evolved plant. So if your lesser self, which is a vegetable, a plant or a piece of vegetation, can't digest these chemicals, what the fuck makes you think that you can? So that being said, you have to become one with the planet in order to understand how you're supposed to spiritually diet with the planet. Now, we're not saying if you live in Alaska, don't eat no meat. Because if I go to Alaska right now and there's not nothing to eat, I'm liable to eat me a seal. But what we're saying is be responsible. Just like our ancestors over here, during spring and summer, they ate vegetables. During fall and winter, they ate meat because that was all they had to eat. You niggas don't have no excuse because you niggas have grocery stores, alkaline farmers markets, all kinds of shit. But yet and still you choose to still take your funky, lazy, scumbag ass to the fucking dollar menu and kill our babies and yourself. Mind you, they kidnapping babies, chopping babies up and putting them in the McDonald's food. So now you're participating in subconscious cannibalism. But let's keep it kicking now, because I have to show you your ignorance. I have to continue to show you your ignorance. Before I can give you the cure, I got to show you what your sickness is. So that being said, the edible chain of destruction. Now this right here is compliments to the chef, Mr. Fanguelo himself, Young Pharaoh. I'm going to show you niggas the edible chain of destruction. Your Caucasian given diet now causes you to contribute to the destruction of your own planet and all life on it. So if me showing you that the planet can't digest certain foods you eat, if me showing you that the planet can't digest certain beverages you drink, maybe this will wake your goofy ass up. See, this is natural versus unnatural. Natural versus unnatural. Now watch this, right? Back in the day, you got hungry, you went to a tree, picked you some fruit, ate some of the fruit. You said, fuck it, I don't want to finish the fruit. Threw it on the ground. My man Squirrely here, come eat the fruit. So by you being wasteful, even though you was being wasteful, still since you was eating natural, your wastefulness was helping out the squirrel and his little family that he got to feed. So now Squirrely get done eating. Squirrely do what he do with the nuts. The seeds get, or whatever he eating. If you ate something or you gave him some peanuts, he eat the peanuts. If you gave him a fruit, he take the seeds. He leave the seeds get buried back in the ground. Now, the same fruit tree grows and feeds everybody. So one tree fed a whole motherfucking ecosystem. A tree don't just feed you, it feeds the animals too. And then it feeds the earth to regrow and redo the same thing. So now why is this important? This is when we were eating from the earth. Now, the white man has become your God. So you don't eat from the earth no more. You eat from the white man's garden called your local corner store, right? Or your local grocery store. And this is what you niggas do. See, here's a strawberry, right? You didn't want the strawberry, you threw it out. You niggas replace strawberry with strawberry pop. You niggas don't want real strawberry no more. You want shit. See, y'all niggas is so sick. You went from all natural food to made with natural flavors. Ha! You niggas go in the store and that shit say made with real fruit juice. And you get excited. Ooh, is real shit in here. That's because you so used to being a fake motherfucking dietary practitioner that the scent of something having real in it hypes it up. When really, that should make you motherfucking infuriated that why is it not all natural? Why do it got a hint made with real fruit juice? Bitch, why the whole goddamn juice not real fruit juice? Well, that being said, you niggas go in the store, you get your strawberry Faygo, and then you throw some of you niggas is some littering bastards. Let's just be real. And if you watch this right now, you litter, I don't mean to make you feel bad, but shame on your motherfucking ass. Stop throwing shit on the ground. That's trifling. So that being said, here we go. Let's say, oh, Pharaoh, I'm not a litterer. I use the garbage can. Here we go. You threw the Faygo in the garbage, right? The Faygo that made his goddamn way to some beach, some dump, and now you done killed the bird. So since you don't want to be natural and you want to go here to your convenience store to get some unnatural shit, you have to dispose of unnatural things in an unnatural way. So that being said, since the earth can't digest it, it got to go somewhere. So now, instead of you throwing it on the ground, like here, you throw it on the ground, you see Squirrely get it, Squirrely eat it, it go back to the ground. Nope, you throw the trash in the trash end up killing some animal that lived 500 miles away from you that had no idea that it was gonna die because you have an unnatural motherfucking appetite. So now, for the rest of the trash that doesn't kill the animal, they throw it and they litter the whole motherfucking forest with it and kill all the life and make it into what is known as a dead zone. Go look up dead zones. Dead zones are locations on this planet where fucking Caucasians have dumped so much trash that no life can inhabit it, from human life to animal life, because the trash and the bacteria that is brought has killed everything. So with that being said, let me show you niggas where you come from. You went from, oh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna get some food, get some natural fruit, throw it on the ground. The seed grows, creates a tree. You niggas went from the natural edible chain to the edible chain of destruction. I'm gonna take my lazy ass to the corner store, throw some shit out. It's gonna kill a motherfucking animal in the process, and I'm gonna destroy my own planet. So if me showing you that your diet is causing animals to be tortured and slaughtered doesn't help wake up your righteousness, look at what the fuck you do on your planet just off of your diet. So we talking about go alkaline, bitch. I don't give a fuck if you trying to be healthy or not. We have a planet we have to save, and nigga, one of the major steps is to stop destroying the motherfucker. You think just because you outside not chopping down a tree, you ain't destroying the forest, nigga? You are asking for that. Okay, I give you an example, right? Niggas say they got motherfucking digging for jewelry and digging for diamonds in Africa, right? Well, I'm not doing it because I'm not making them. Why you not? You use cell phones, don't you? Okay, you use laptops, don't you? I'm using a piece of technology to do this PowerPoint presentation, don't you? So somebody in our homeland had to suffer because of my request and your request for the European to produce a piece of technology that we could have produced our motherfucking self. It's no different with the planet. The planet is suffering and dying because you are a gluttonous, greedy, ignorant to what you eat, lower level being who needs to raise their frequency. There is no nice ways to say it, no nice way to say it. And if it was, I wouldn't say it anyway. Now, with that being said, let's keep it moving now. Black bodies versus white bodies. See, your diet comes from somebody that's not you. Can a shark give a dietary plan to a deer? No, they can't. We're prokaryotic cells. We're melanated deities. They're Neanderthal deities. We have two different digestive systems, period. So with that being said, how you taking advice from somebody that's a totally other species from you? A bird can't give food advice to a spider. We don't eat the same shit. We two different DNA, we two different genetic materialized organisms. Now here we go. Blacks are 100% human. Whites are 96% human and 4% Neanderthal. Whites have animal genes, which cause their digestive tract to be more animal based. Okay? Now let me pause right there. This is why white people can drink motherfucking blood. I got a PowerPoint. I believe it's the hidden history psychology, the hidden history, psychology, and biology of the Caucasian, where I'm showing them drinking raw blood. They can do all that because they have an animal-based digestive tract that will sustain them from getting sick. That's why they like their meat raw. You go to the motherfucking, take your ass to Olive Garden and order you a raw steak and see don't your ass have food poisoning. Now, with that being said, continuing on. The black body, due to its melanin, is water and sun-based. The black body's melanin is natural and therefore needs natural electric foods to sustain it. Whites need protein because they do not have it naturally. Blacks do not because we naturally have protein. So that's another misconception you niggas have. I gotta eat meat for motherfucking protein. I gotta eat meat for mother. Do you know how much protein our body naturally produces because of melanin? Do you know? So do the sign, do the due diligence. See, my thing is you have taken on the psychology of the Caucasian so much that you have now adapted and inherited his flaws as if they were your own. And that's a disgrace to who you are as an African. Now here we go. Whites cannot survive off nature, so they have taught blacks to survive unnaturally as well. If whites had to fend for themselves, they will be killed by the sun. Plus, their bodies cannot be sustained by fruits and vegetables because they lack melanin and are too weak. During slavery, whites made Africans drink milk from the animal, but made our black women breastfeed them our human milk. This was because our body has natural protein and elements that their body does not. They also force-fed us pork on the slave ships in order to break our divinity and put us on the animal plane, which I'll be breaking down. In our most healthiest and powerful states, we give whites cancer. They use meat to lower our spiritual vibrations. Black bodies give off UV rays from our chakras, which can be measured from 1 to 3,100 miles. Whites can only have a body vibration of 400 to 700 nanometers due to lack of melanin. There are 1.6 nanometers in every 1 mile. That means it takes a minimum of 12 adult white Europeans to equal the spiritual aura of one black person in their weakest state. That means African's aura goes from 1 to 3,100 miles. So if you got an aura that go from 1 mile, that means you're eating meat, smoking crack, shooting dope, all kind of shit. Your body just low. You just a weak-spirited motherfucker. Even in your weakest state, it takes 12 full adult Europeans to equal the biofield aura, calculated distance and measure of one African. So imagine the aura and the frequency field being emitted by a healthy minded and healthy dieted and healthy spiritual system practicing African. But let's keep it kicking now. Here we go. Food chakras and the systems they affect. Now we're going into the science now, right? Each fruit or vegetable is naturally in harmony with the chakra it affects, as well as the specific system of the body it affects. The color of the fruit or vegetable tells you which chakra it affects. In regards to the body systems, red fruits and vegetables affect the circulatory system. Green fruits and vegetables affect the respiratory system, which is growth and development of the body and its cells. Yellow fruits and vegetables affect the digestive system. This is why when you constipated, your grandma or mama tell you, boy, go eat some peppers. Or right now, some of y'all who eat meat, you know, when you get them banana peppers on that steak hoagie, you're going to the bathroom. So with that being said, yellow fruits and vegetables, okay, help to move waste and move food and other things you digested within your digestive system along and through your digestive system. Now here we see apples, right? They tell you one apple a day keeps the doctor away and makes your heart healthy, right? Red peppers, right? What do red peppers do? Red hot chili peppers. They make you sweat, okay? They speed up your heart. They speed up they're good for your circulatory system. They get the blood flow. So remember in the beginning of this lecture when I showed y'all the different levels of the electromagnetic spectrum of the sun in each color. Each of those colors have a physical manifestation. And that physical manifestation has not just a spiritual, but a bioenergetic effect on that part of the anatomy of the organism, as well as the chakra system associated with that part of the anatomy of an organism. So with that being said, all red fruits and vegetables affect the circulatory system. Hence, blood is red blood cells, once it hits the oxygen. Here we go. All green fruits and vegetables affect the circulatory system, which has to do with cellular growth and the growth and development of the body. Hence, for example, we have pears and green peppers. Then you have we got lemons right here and yellow banana peppers. Helps with the digestive system. When you eat lemons, okay, or when you're sick, right, or when you're constipated and you eat lemons or banana peppers, you immediately are able to go to the bath. So when we say, how did our ancestors know what to eat? And how did they know how to heal each other? Because they knew each part of the body was affected by a weakness in the chakra. For example, headaches has to do with your sixth chakra, right? So purple foods, okay, will have to do with healing and strengthening and giving an electrical charge to that part of the body. So when we're talking about herbs and how do you know what herbs to eat and how do you know what foods to eat, first of all, you have to know what it is in your body that's injured and needs to be replenished. And from that understanding and that knowledge, then you know what chakra is associated with that. And predicated upon which chakra that is will determine which food you need to associate with that injured part of your organism. Now let's keep it kicking. Here we go. They poison the food to poison the soul, right? Now here's this motherfucker. Look at this goofy ass nigga right here. I am going to wear this suit to protect myself from the toxic chemicals I'm spraying on your food. But don't worry, it's completely safe. So now here we go. Because you niggas is in the grocery store thinking because you buying fruits and vegetables, it's safe. This nigga got a full body suit on to protect them from whatever the fuck he's spraying on your food. And you finna give that not only to yourself, to your children. So now why is this important? Because now, nigga ain't shit safe to eat. So when we talking about voting and protesting and you niggas can vote the fuck, nigga, you can vote to the day you die, nigga. It's not gonna stop him from spraying your food. The only way to get back a true natural diet is to take over the resources in the land that produced the motherfucker. So until black people ready to do that, nigga, you gonna keep eating the fuck shit you eat, period. Now here we go. Food once taken in is digested and distributed through the endocrine system. The endocrine system is the home of all vital glands which are directly connected to the chakras, which I'll show in the next slide. When taking in poison or unnatural foods, we destroy our glands, which are connected to our chakras. Once the connection to our chakras is compromised, our connection to our higher selves becomes compromised. Now here we go. The endocrine system, right? Each of these glands, as you can see, they're going down the meridian of the body. They're going down the middle of the body. Each of these glands are associated directly with the chakra. Now, first, I want to give you the definition of the endocrine system before I go into detail, right? Endocrine system. The endocrine system is the collection of glands that produce hormones that regulate things such as metabolism, growth and development, tissue function, sexual function, reproduction, sleep, and mood, among other things. Just like they already exposed how they was putting certain chemicals in the food to turn men homosexual, they're tampering and poisoning the endocrine systems, which are throwing off certain modulations in the body and causing people to be more, let's say, feminized if you are naturally a masculine deity. Here, it just told you one of the functions is sexual function. So once you learn the body, you can tweak the body. And if you're a demonic motherfucker, you'll tweak the body demonically. Now, here we go. The glands of the endocrine system connect you to your chakras. They put fluoride in the water to calcify the pineal gland, which is the gateway to our higher selves. They use food to cut us off from the universe, right? So let's start from the bottom and go up in the endocrine system. These are your major endocrine glands you can see. If you're a male, you got your testicles. If you're a female, you got your ovaries, right? You got your pancreas, right? You got your kidneys. You got your adrenal gland. You got your thymus gland. You got your thyroid gland. You got your pituitary gland, your hypothalamus gland. All of this is sixth chakra, fifth chakra, heart chakra, all of that third chakra, root chakra. All of these connect you to different chakras. And the foods that you eat are damaging and weakening these glands. So if you're, for example, if you've been eating fluoride all your life, drinking fluoride all your life, and eating certain chemicals that damage the pineal gland, you've been weakening your sixth chakra. Hopefully you haven't destroyed or blew the motherfucker out. So now when we say, why does African people in America, right, or so-called African Americans or Negroes or whatever the hell people call themselves these days, why are they not wise? Why do they lack insight? Why do they lack wisdom? Why are these young kids out here just acting crazy, not thinking about their actions before they do them? Because they didn't knock their motherfucking pineal gland all the way out the box. Okay? Where the insight and where the spiritual wisdom will come from is calcified. So now let's go to the next slide. Okay? Look at this. This is the example of a pineal gland. Fluoride is deposited here as a result of consumption of fluoridated water. Now, if you want to say, Pharaoh, where can I find some fluoride water? Well, cut your motherfucking sink on, my nigga. There's plenty of it there for you. And then don't get it twisted either, because people say you can boil it out the water. When you boil water, tap water, because a lot of y'all make baby food. Some of you niggas is cooking noodles. Some of you niggas is cooking and just boiling hot water. You actually make the fluoride more potent. So it's the hotter the tap water, the more invigorating and strengthening you're making the fluoride. So that being said, if you think you can just boil, when they tell you boil the water and you boil the toxics out, not with fluoride, you make it stronger. So that being said, the pineal gland is a tiny pine cone shaped gland located just above the pituitary gland in the center of the brain. It is called the third eye because it is physically composed with the same tissues as the two eyes in your face. It actually has a retina and an iris, okay? They prescribe marijuana to decalcify cataracts from the eyes, and it removes the calcification from the pineal gland in the same manner. So if you want to say, Pharaoh, how do I decalcify my pineal gland? Smoke the weed. Smoke the weed. Smoke the weed. Now, I'm going to go hypothetical because I don't want nobody saying Pharaoh on there telling people to smoke weed. So I will say, it has been proven that marijuana decalcifies your pineal gland the same way that it decalcifies cataract out of your eye. Because as I stated, your pineal gland, the third eye, literally is made of the same tissues and has the same physical composition as your real eye. It has a retina and an iris in it and everything, same tissues and everything. So that being said, they give you fluoride, right? And that's legal. But then the cure to fluoride is illegal. So they tell you it's safe to drink the water we give you, but it's illegal to drink what nature gave you, what would actually protect you from the fucked up water we gave you. So that being said, here's the 7 system of a healthy food and spirit chart, right? And this is just to show you that the endocrine systems that I just showed you are indeed connected with the chakras. So you have the root chakra, which was the adrenal glands, as well as testes and ovaries. within the second chakra and first chakra sharing similarities. Then you got the third chakra, right, which is the pancreas. Then you got the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, green, thymus, and love. Then you got the throat chakra, which was the thyroid gland. The sixth chakra, which was the pituitary gland, and the seventh chakra and the sixth chakra both sharing the pineal gland. Now, why is this important? As you can see, these are all the colors of the rainbow, as well as the colors of the electromagnetic spectrum. So you are a condensed sun, all right? Melanin is condensed sunlight. And your connection to your higher self, which is the solar system, is through your chakras. And your physical connection that keeps your chakras healthy is your endocrine system. And depending upon what you eat, will either strengthen or weaken your endocrine system. So the whole point of a spirit diet is to keep your body fully stabilized and fully electrically vibratory to where your chakras are always at maximum power to output and input spiritual energetic frequency, whether that be messages, whether you is an empath, whether you try to achieve maximum strength, whatever you're trying to do that invokes spiritual energy, you must have a healthy diet and endocrine system to do so. So eating meat actually does not strengthen you. It weakens you spiritually. Now, the spiritual effects of doing drugs. Because some of you niggas like to do drugs. It's the truth. And that's a diet. So with that being said, it's a part of your diet. You digest it. So that being said, we're going to go in on y'all. Right? Now, drugs literally blow open the chakras. The chakra portals must be balanced in their sizes. If they are open too much, they'll be commuting too much energy in and out of the body. Now let me give y'all an example, right? This is not only harmful to the body for obvious reasons, but to the soul. Drugs vibrate your spirit at a low level. Meanwhile, at the same time, force your pineal gland open and thrust you into a higher plane that you are not properly prepared. Billy is not really talking to himself. Billy didn't accidentally access a higher dimension, and Billy's talking to an entity that he's attracted to himself. So that being said, a lot of motherfuckers in the crazy house is not crazy. Some of you niggas need to be in there, and some of them need to be out here. So with that being said, you see him? Now this is Tony. Let me tell you something about Tony. Tony high as a motherfucker right now. Tony's on the top of a mountain. The galaxy opened up. Tony done sniffed some shit he had no business sniffing, and his whole chakras done blew out. He's high. Tony's high. But what Tony doesn't know is he's forcing himself onto a plane that he hasn't naturally accessed. He's artificially accessed a natural part of his source of the in regards to where his existence stems from. So what Tony doesn't realize is Tony's not spiritually ready to be there. So if Tony's a rapist or if Tony's a thief, because most crackheads do not live righteous, you don't know what the fuck they do to come up with the money they come up with, or you don't know what these niggas is doing. All these molly popping in the club niggas, you don't know what these niggas is doing. They robbing, stealing, killing, raping, all kind of shit. So as you continue to open up yourself to the spiritual realms, you have to remember the universe is not actionary, it's reactionary. So our people are constantly doing drugs, constantly drinking alcohol, but we constantly in an internal state of negativity. Niggas don't drink alcohol because they want to have fun. The average nigga drink alcohol because he going through some shit, or somebody done died, or something negative has happened. So that being said, the average person that does drugs doesn't say, I'm going to shoot some heroin because it's fun. No. Most motherfuckers got addicted to heroin because somebody forced it on them. So that being said, we are forcing ourselves to higher planes of spirituality, meanwhile attracting the negative deities that live there because we are still on a negative frequency. So that being said, we're talking about your diet. Because the reason we going here is because I'm sick of motherfuckers keep saying, well, the ancestors did drugs and they did psychedelics. No, the fuck they did not. When the ancestors told you to smoke some weed or do some DMT and the shamans had you do DMT and go in the cave, they was already righteous. They was already in a positive state. Okay? What the fuck is y'all talking about? So I gotta touch on drugs because you are spiritually destroying yourself by putting yourself on the spiritual plane that you have not internally deemed yourself positive enough in your vibratory frequency or whatever state you're vibrating in to be on. So it's a difference. It's a difference between if a Buddhist monk smokes some weed and a stone cold pedophile smokes some weed, they're not going to have the same spiritual experience. One is positive, one is negative. Water doesn't change, but nigga, if you can't swim, you're going to drown. So right now, y'all just getting high, jumping in the motherfucking ocean, and you can't swim. And you wonder why it seems like you got bad luck. Bad shit just keep happening. You keep attracting the same old ain't shit niggas in your life. You keep attracting the same old situations in your life. That's because you have ethereal entities feeding off your ass, following you around all day because your diet, not just what you eat, not just what you drink and smoke, but what you watch, what you listen to, is prepping you all to be on the frequency that they need you to be on to continue to feed off you. If you don't think you ugly, a motherfucker can't never call you ugly and they can't affect you. So that being said, we keep eating and doing things and digesting things that are causing us to spiritually be negative inside. And we just making ourselves the number one meal for anything that feeds off that, whether it be in its human form or non-human form. Now, I know y'all niggas like to drink, Remy. I know y'all like to drink y'all shit. So I have to show y'all real fast the spiritual effects of alcohol. Because when I tell people you can become spiritually possessed by doing drugs and doing motherfucking or drinking certain alcoholic beverages, y'all wanna, that's crazy talk, huh? That's crazy talk. Meanwhile, in Hollywood, nigga, they had you sniff some shit, nigga, you go stone cold out and wake up and there's 3 demonic entities inside your ass. So with that being said, family, let me show y'all the spiritual scientific effects of drinking alcohol. They have a machine that is known as the electrosomnographic scanner, which will be mentioned in this video. They hook it up to you, and they can actually gauge the power level of each of your chakras before and after you either do a drug or digest alcohol, and they can actually gauge if you've been possessed or not upon digesting one of the two. So right now, we're going to break down, we're going to stay on alcohol just for right now, and I'm going to let y'all get this science. So with that being said, I'm about to play this video, family. Get ready, y'all mean? And motherfucking, you know, get you some wine in your life, nigga. Get you some wine, nigga. Ain't no amount of Henny worth being demonically possessed. Here we go.
Every stimulus, including what we drink, affects the activity of the spiritual energy centers in our subtle body, known as Kundalini chakras. These chakras regulate the flow of subtle energy for various functions. To aid our research, we made use of a biofeedback machine, which uses an electrosomatographic scanning technique. This technique gives us an interpretation of the electrical activity of a person's Kundalini chakras. Using this machine, we conducted an experiment using 10 volunteers, all of whom were doing spiritual practice. In this sample, 5 of the volunteers were afflicted by demonic possession, while the others were free from any negative energy distress. The reason we chose such a sample is because people worldwide are affected by negative energies to some extent. And in 30% of cases, people are possessed by these negative energies with or without their knowledge. In the beginning, we scanned all the volunteers to get baseline readings of their chakras. We then served all of them alcohol. Some had whiskey and some had beer. They all had between 2 to 3 standard size drinks. Soon afterwards, we took another reading to see the effect the alcohol had on their chakras. We continued to take readings at regular intervals until we found that the readings had returned to somewhere near the original baseline. It took as long as 170 hours or 7 days to get back to normal for one volunteer, while the average across all volunteers was about 60 hours or 2.5 days. With regards to the volunteers who were possessed, the change in readings on the biofeedback machine for 60% of them were more negative. This actually means that there was a decrease in activity of their chakras. %80 of the volunteers who were not affected by negative energies also showed a decrease in the activity of all their chakras.
Okay, now read this, family. This is important. 96% of cases of alcohol addiction are either caused or continue due to demonic possession or possession by departed ancestors. Okay, what can be done about this? I'll tell you. Stop drinking the goddamn shit. That's what the fuck can be done. So that being said, what the fuck more proof do you need? What do you need? So with that being said, let me get the science now. You in a strip club, okay? You in the hip hop club, you in a bar, niggas is smoking. Smoke is used to give spirits a minute physical form. And then not only are you giving spirits an avenue or a portal to this realm through the smoke, you drinking. So now once they get here, they can jump up in you. And some of you niggas know what it is when you get that liquor in you and you act crazy, okay? Motherfucker, if you strip, there ain't no stripper just stripping sober. You done took you a shot when you got up there so that you can get loose and do what you do. So this goes to show you that drugs and alcohol put you in an altered state and allow you to be possessed. You did motherfucker, the ancestors wasn't crazy. Even Caucasians have confirmed this today through means of technology. So that being said, your diet is the number one reason your life is fucked up. That's the number one reason. You are what you eat, motherfucker. If you come to somebody's house and their room ain't clean, that means they not a clean person. So if you are African and your diet ain't clean, that means you're not a clean spiritual person. Period. So that being said, now y'all see what alcohol do. Now let's see what fruit juice does. Let's see what fruit juice and smoothies do to the chakras and the spirit. The spiritual effects of drinking fruit juice.
It is a well-known fact that fruit juice is a nutritious part of a healthy diet. Its spiritual benefits, however, are not as well known. This video follows up from another video where we researched the spiritual ill effects of the consumption of alcohol. Researching and analyzing the spiritual dimension is not like regular research and can only be conducted through an advanced sixth sense. Every stimulus, including what we drink, affects the activity of the spiritual energy centers in our subtle body known as Kundalini chakras. These chakras regulate the flow of subtle energy for our various functions. To aid our research, we made use of a biofeedback machine which uses an electrosomatographic scanning technique. This technique gives us an interpretation of the electrical activity of a person's Kundalini chakras. Using this machine, we conducted an experiment using 10 volunteers, all of whom were doing spiritual practice. In this sample, 5 of the volunteers were possessed by negative energies, while the others were free from negative energy distress. To begin with, we scanned all the volunteers to get baseline readings of their chakras prior to exposing them to any stimulus. After this, we asked them to drink a glass of fruit juice. After 3 to 4 hours, we took another reading to see the effect the juice had on their chakras. We continued to take readings at regular intervals until we found that the readings had returned to somewhere near the original baseline. With regards to the volunteers who were possessed, 60% showed a decrease in the activity of their chakras. In the group of volunteers who were free from spiritual distress, 60% showed a decrease in the activity of their upper four chakras, and 60% showed an improvement in the activity of their lower three chakras. Through spiritual research, using advanced sixth sense, we found that fruit juice gave out sattva predominant vibrations. Spiritual vibrations generated when we have natural fruit juice. Her Holiness Yoya saw a flow of divine consciousness being attracted into the fruit juice. With this, activated rings of divine consciousness and divine energy are created in the juice. Along with the positive rings of energy, she saw particles of divine consciousness and divine energy being emitted into the fruit juice. The positive energies were not just limited to the fruit juice, but were transmitted into the environment and began to spiritually purify the surroundings.
Consuming alcohol increases our risk of being possessed by negative energies. Once a person is possessed, it is extremely difficult to get rid of the possessing entity. Look at that. Drinking fruit juice increases our spiritual resistance to negative subtle forces. This is motherfucking science. Fruit juice attracts and emanates positive spiritual energy. Okay. Now listen, let me tell you something. Okay? It is nothing that those Indians can tell you that I do not know already. Okay? Okay? Some of you angry motherfuckers just need the goddamn fruit juice. That is what you need. Some of you angry black Negroes, you need a good banana strawberry smoothie. Okay? So that being said, less niggas would get killed in the club if niggas was in there popping smoothie bottles versus Henny. What you want to bet? I ain't never heard, listen, right now, in the chat, I'm gonna check at the end. When I do Q, tell me if you ever seen a nigga get killed in the club full of fruit juice. I've never seen it. I've never seen a nigga get killed in the club where they where they serving salads and fruit smoothies. I've never seen it. Maybe it happened. Maybe, I don't know. But I've never seen a nigga on BET talking about, nigga, we run up on your ass, nigga. We out eating salad and fruit juice smoothies and strawberries, nigga, and we'll blow your motherfucking breath. I've never seen it. You know why? Because it makes you happy. It makes you feel good, nigga. It makes you feel good. So that being said, we talking about spirit diet. A lot of y'all say, damn, why I'm so depressed? Why I feel so down? Well, part of the reason is because you got a demonic spirit following you around all day. The second part of it is because of your diet. Your diet is not uplifting you. It's not bringing you to your alkaline state. Alkaline is a dietary word, which means electrically charged, an electrical conduit. It's bringing you, your diet is bringing you to the acidic part of you, which is your lower self. So you experience emotions that only exist within certain hemispheres of your own being. So anger doesn't exist past 578 megahertz frequency. So that would be green heart chakra. So vegetables start at the color green and go up. So that being said, when you eat certain foods, and you, like for example, I'm gonna use a Buddhist monk. A Buddhist monk doesn't get mad because they vibrate so high internally, they don't even get to experience those feelings. If you live in Florida, you don't know what snow is because the frequency of the atmosphere in Florida doesn't allow for it to snow. If you go to Florida, you don't know what if you go to Alaska, you don't know what 90 degrees Fahrenheit weather is because it's so goddamn cold. The frequency in Alaska doesn't allow for such heat. Your diet, all right, push you in certain vibratory levels of your own self. And depending upon where you are subjected to the internal forces that exist on that plane of yourself. So if you exist in your higher self, you don't experience feelings of your lower self, like hate, jealousy, envy, etc. All right? You experience things like caring, compassion, sharing, love, honesty, truth. Okay? So your diet plays a direct part in your moral self, in your spiritual self, in the way that you act. And I'll be breaking that down more towards the end of this lecture. Let's keep it kicking. Okay, the origin of the pig, right? All right? Some of you porky motherfuckers need to understand this. You pork chop loving, pork feeding, poison pork feeding to our babies, niggas need to get this truth. Now, that being said, the pig you see here is the newest form of its species. It is only 4,000 to 5,000 years old. Same age as the Caucasian. Yum, 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 yum. I gave you a Jew. Here we go. This is not a natural animal. The pig is a genetically spliced animal created from a rat, cat, and a dog. Specifically, a muskrat, a bobcat, and a hyena. Go do the genetic research on the pig. So that being said, don't believe that, then look at a liger. So if you don't believe that you can genetically splice animals, look at a liger. And if not, I have an entire lecture called Genetic Reincarnation where I break this down step by step that'll be available on my website next week. Now, continuing on, the pig was created by who the Bible deems as Moses in order to eat the filth and free the white race from the Caucasus Mountains, right? Because just like on Spartan 300, y'all know white people was not burying their dead, they were stacking their bed, they were stacking their dead up. So they needed an animal that would be able to eat through the filth and flesh of the Caucasus Mountains for someone to be able to even get in there and civilize the Europeans. So that being said, no, pigs will eat anything. This is why slave masters and masters would feed dead bodies to the pig in order to get rid of the body. Pigs never sweat, which caused them to carry 99.9% of all germs and parasites. They also can be bitten by a snake and not be poisoned. So that being said, you are eating something that never refreshes itself while still living. You know how dangerous that is? See, at least when shit die, maggots and shit go in it. This motherfucker living with maggots and parasites and all kind of shit. So it never refreshes. It doesn't sweat. It doesn't do none of that. So this motherfucker had a tapeworm. By the time he came out and by the time he died, the tapeworm, they got 100 feet in him, still living, and he just running around. You gonna cut him and open him up, eat him, and you gonna get the tapeworm. So your intestines and all kind of shit is just all fucked up. And with that being said, we're going to show you a video now. What I'm going to do is show you a video now of body parasites that you get from eating pork. All right, here we go.
¡Ay, ve cómo mira, no! Yo le voy a enseñar esto en video grande a mi familia y mi televisor de 62 pulgadas. Estás viva de verga.
Yeah, that's coming out his stomach. That's coming out his intestines tract. Look at that shit. It ain't over, it's just getting started.
Pero llegué muy tarde. Lee llegamos temprano.
They in this man's intestines right now. They in his stomach right now. They got him on the Watch it, look at this. All them goddamn worms in his stomach.
¡Ay, mira cómo levanta la cabeza! ¡Ven! ¡Padre! Parece un esto pasta con huevo. ¡Están vivas! ¡Mira cómo se mueven! ¡Oh, my God!
Now this right here is video of parasites inside of a human stomach. So this is what all you niggas' stomachs look like that eat meat. This is what's inside you crawling around. Just because you don't feel it don't mean it ain't in there. This is what your meat-eating ass stomach look like. Huh? I can't stop eating meat. That shit tastes too good. Well, all right, nigga. Well, I hope you like being the home of the parasites. And if you have digested that many physical parasites, nigga, imagine how many spiritual parasites you've digested on that same plane. 1 in 3 Americans have stomach parasites. Huh? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not done. Human brain. This is a human brain full of tapeworms from pork. All right, they took the brain out, put the brain in water. This is what some of you niggas' brains look like right now. This is brain-eating tapeworms from the pork, from the pig. This is what some of you niggas look, but not just you. This is some of your babies look like. And you say, well, why you can't focus? Why you can't sit down in school? What's wrong with you? This is what's wrong with him. The motherfucker got Dr. Octopus growing in his motherfucking corpus callosum. The fuck? So this is, when you talk about your body, your vessel, your brain is your computer. Why the fuck would you infest your computer? How are you supposed to exist at your highest level of physical competence as a spirit inhabiting this body when you constantly ignorantly fucking your body up? And in doing so, you fucking the planet up. Now here we go. Here we go. Brain-eating tapeworms from the pig, part 2. Here we go.
The most common cause of adult onset epilepsy in the world is called neurocysticercosis, which literally means pork tapeworms curled up inside our brain. A review last year out of the Mayo Clinic describes the problem. Cysticerci, meaning the pork tapeworm larvae, create cavities in the human brain and other body tissue where their tiny bodies grow sometimes into tapeworms 2 to 7 meters in length and can live up to 25 years in the human body. 7 meters means 23 feet long. On MRI, so-called wormholes appear. On CT scan, there can be so many in the brain at one time, it can appear similar to a starry sky. Each star is a fluid-filled cyst with the beginning of a living, growing tapeworm inside. This is what they look like on autopsy. This is what their face looks like. They have these rings of hooks to grab onto our brain tissue. Earlier this year, a review was published by the CDC on the public health implications of cysticercosis acquired in the United States. Pork tapeworms on the brain has emerged as a cause of severe neurologic disease in the United States. Even after pork tapeworm larvae infect our brain, some people remain asymptomatic their entire lives, while others can go for years without symptoms and then suddenly become very ill with seizures, headaches, and other focal neurological deficits as the larvae multiply within the nervous system and other tissues and can cause sudden death just due to the pressure buildup in the brain.
Okay. Had a mysterious headache lately out of nowhere? Had a mysterious headache? Nigga, you might have tapeworms in your brain, nigga. So you like to eat that meat. When you keep eating that meat, thinking it's a game, nigga's eating you back. Nigga, when you eat food, it ain't supposed to eat you back. This shit eating you alive from the inside. So you motherfuckers don't want to stop eating meat, huh? Don't. Because it ain't going to stop eating your ass back either. So that being said, dumb shit can grow 23 feet. Nigga, Yao Ming ain't even 10 feet. He's not even 8 feet. They can grow 23. Nigga, that's like a python. That's like an anaconda living inside your motherfucking brain and your body. And then you got thousands of them. So when you look at an anaconda and say, damn, that bitch long as a motherfucker, that's 23 feet. Nigga, now imagine fitting an anaconda in your body. So you're eating pork and you get small little larvae that's growing 23 feet inside your body, and they're inhabiting sensitive spaces within your vessel, such as your digestive tract, your heart, your brain, etc. Because you don't want to stop eating fucking pork chops with your ignorant ass. Here we go. The physical and spiritual effects of meat. Bladder, colon, rectal, and esophageal are among the cancers that have been linked to the consumption of meat, especially red and processed meats. Meat contains mutant cells, okay? Mutant cells, and sticks to the esophagus all the way down to the intestines tract when swallowed. These mutant cells in dead flesh bring mucus, parasites, and disease to the body. So when you swallow meat, that shit stick from the back of your mouth all the way down your throat, your entire esophagus, all the way to your stomach. It just sticks. You don't swallow it all. And it's there, motherfucker. You might have swallowed some chicken 10 years ago, and that shit been stuck right here in your esophagus all this time, just corroding and rotting away and turning into mucus and bringing disease into your body. Now, why is it important? It takes 90 hours to digest meat. What you ate Monday is still in you Thursday. Meanwhile, you still been eating meat every day, never giving the digestive system a chance to rest. The body has to store the undigested food as what we know as fat. The intestine stretches, causing the belly to protrude, and you become overweight. Hunger headaches are really kinetic energy activations in which the brain becomes available once the digestive system becomes inactive. We do use 100% of our brain. Now, let me give you the science, right? If it takes 90 hours to digest meat, if you eat something Monday, your body is not done digesting that till Thursday. So mind you, you've been eating Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you got your digestive tract never taking a break. So when you go on a fast and you don't eat for 3 days, okay, borderline pushing 72 to 90 hours, they say you get a hunger headache. Now, we're not talking about a starving person that needs to eat. We're mature enough to know when somebody's really hungry or when they're just having a hunger headache. What your hunger headache really is all the energy that your brain was using to constantly churn and digest food through the means of the digestive system is no longer being, let's say, administered to this portion of the body. So now that energy becomes reavailable to the brain. But since your brain, your whole, because you eat every fucking day. So your digestive system has been working every day since you were a child. So from the time you was like able to chew meat, you've been eating meat every day. So if you're 30 years old, your digestive system that's like me leaving this computer running for 30 fucking years. So of course it's gonna have problems. So what happens is your digestive system has been running for 15, 20 years straight. Once you finally give it a break, all of that energy becomes back available to be used by the brain. Kinetic means potential energy. And you get what is called a hunger headache. When it's not really a hunger headache, that is the ability that you can use to perform spiritual feats, such as people who have insight, empaths, telekinesis, telepathy, things like that. All of that energy that you could be using in your mind is constantly being distracted and administered through the body being overworked by you simply having a non-spiritual diet. So that being said, your diet plays a strict part in the growth and development of your mind and psyche, predicated upon the energy that your brain is constantly distributing to your digestive system to digest food, wouldn't have to be administered to 90 goddamn hours to digest your diet if it was able to do it in 2 hours. So that being said, you use 100% of your brain, but are you wasting where you are, let's say, setting the disposition of where the energy is being administered at? So if you have all this energy available to you mentally, but it's constantly being distracted by your diet for 90 hours predicated upon what you put in your mouth, then it'll never be available to you because it's always being used by your digestive system due to your negligence in regards to what it is you consume. Now, the physical and spiritual effects of eating meat. See, meat brings mucus into the body. Disease uses mucus as a host. Without mucus, disease has no host and therefore cannot exist. This is mucus into the body. This is what you niggas is putting in your body, eating all that goddamn meat. Now here we go. Melanin is an electrical conductor. The more alkaline the body is, the more electrified the more electricity we conduct. The more electricity our cells are conducting, the more powerful we become. So hence, you got Storm off X-Men. You got Static Shock. It's no coincidence that black heroes are always deified as electrified beings. Even with the new Spider-Man, they could have made Electro anybody else. They made a black actor play Electro. Why? Because melanin is a natural conductor of electricity. We are the most electrified beings on the planet. So you might as well say we the Rock. We the most electrified man in sports entertainment, period. So that being said, your diet empowers you because it's synchronicity with the natural biological vessel that you inhabit. So once you keep, it's like your phone. If your phone is on 15, 10% about to die, you can't do all of it. You can't take a picture on your shit because it's not powerful enough. So when your body is not being electronically charged, it's not powerful enough to perform all the feats that it naturally would be able to. Now let's keep it kicking now, right? The physical and spiritual effects of meat product 3, right? This is off riseofthevegan.com, right? Scientists find blood from vegans is 8 more times more protective against cancer. Now here we go. Scientists have found that blood taken from vegans is 8 times more effective at killing cancer cells than blood taken from those following a standard American diet. In a series of experiments, people were placed on different diets and their blood was then dripped on cancer cells in a petri dish to see which diet resulted in blood that was more effective at suppressing cancer growth. Even the blood of those on a standard American diet fights cancer, but the blood circulating within bodies of vegans was shown to have nearly 8 times the stopping power when it comes to cancer cell growth. That was after maintaining a plant-based diet for exactly 1 year. Now, before we even go over here, subsequent studies against breast cancer showed the power of eating plants for just 2 weeks. A dramatic strengthening of cancer deficits was after shown 14 days of a plant-based diet and light exercise, walking between anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes a day. Samples of blood were taken from women with breast cancer, and then women were asked to spend 14 days on a plant-based diet to perform 30 to 60 minutes of light exercise daily. After just 14 days, their blood was taken again and found to significantly slow down the growth of cancer, and as well as increase the blood's ability to kill cancer cells. That was done in just 14 days of switching the diet. Now here you got a diagram, right? And you go from 0% starting at the top, and you got 80%, right? You can see here, SAD, SAD, because that's what you niggas are, SAD. Perfect acronym. Y'all some sad motherfuckers. Standard American diet, SAD, right, versus vegan diet. -9% opposed to -70% in regards to controlling and killing cancer cells. So you can see a vegan's blood was shown by at least 61 more percent effective than the standard American diet at killing cancer cells. This is not a motherfucking, this is science, family. This, and the ancestors been on this. I'm just representing it in this day and time on this planet within this mental construct that we're trapped in. So that being said, the physical and spiritual effects of eating meat, part 3. See, now we get into my favorite part. Meat opens your emotional being to the animal plane. Because remember, we are connected to all things energetically. Period. Meat opens your emotional being to the animal plane. This causes you to pick up characteristics of the beings on that plane. The Black community has literally become a jungle, except we are worse than the animals. When humans show cruelty, we are called animals. But the only problem with that is animals don't show cruelty. Animals kill for survival. Humans kill for ego, as well as do shit like rape and torture. Animals don't do that. So you niggas, half you niggas are worse than the motherfucking animal. So that being said, the top half is for you meat-eating motherfuckers. And the last two, these first 3 pictures is for meat eaters, and these last 3 pictures is for vegan eaters. Now I'm about to make my point, right? Lions, right? Lions eat meat, and they hunt, and they prey, and they're predatorial. You can say they're egotistical. They don't want nobody in their space, right? And they teach their children to do the same shit. And when you look at the Black community, you niggas is gangbanging. You don't want nobody in your space. You're predatorial. You're territorial. And you teach your children the same shit. Everything animals do, you do. Nigga, you even eat the same shit an animal eat. And you wonder why you act like a motherfucking animal. because you share the energetic signature of that what you eat, nigga. If you eat motherfucking flies, you might as well be a spider. So that being said, here we go. Snake, right? You see this snake? Now let me show. I'm gonna make my point. This bird is minding his motherfucking business. He just trying to land on a tree. But here go this snake, slithery motherfucker, blending in, finna attack this bird. Now, how many of y'all have ever been lied to? How many of y'all have ever been deceived? How many have y'all ever had somebody act like somebody they not, only to prey upon you? Now, I'm not saying vegan people or people who don't eat meat have better moral standards to indefinitely. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is your diet opens you up to the emotional characteristics of certain animals because you live in that aspect of yourself. Just like when they say you living in your lower self, what they say, you living in the animal plane. That's what they call it, the animal plane. When you in your first chakra, you're in the animal plane. So you're open to all the characteristics and emotional traits of animals because that's the frequency that you're on. So for all of these over aggressive, motherfucking sneaky traded niggas in the community, look at the diet of the motherfuckers in the community. Now let me make my point. Look at this deer, right? See this deer? You can walk up on this deer and pet this deer. You can't walk up on this lion and pet this motherfucking lion. You know why? Because the lion lives in a negative interval due to his diet. Not saying the lion itself is negative, but that's the frequency in which the lion exists. This lives in a different interval opposed to the lion because of his diet. Look at the koala bear, right? This koala bear ain't nothing like his trifling ass cousin, the grizzly bear. His motherfucking grizzly bear cousin want to run the streets, eat the fish, eat the campers. His cousin is out of control. But the grizzly bear just want to eat his motherfucking bamboo, read his books, and mind his business. So that being said, look at the elephant. You can walk up on it. This elephant will crush your ass 50 lifetimes in a row. But you can walk up on this elephant, pet it. It has an immaculate memory. It's harmless until you become harmful or a threat to it. Now, what do all three of these entities have in common? They're all vegans. So the most peacefulest animals on the planet are vegan. The most non-peacefulest motherfucking animals on the planet are meat eaters. Same thing with people. Same thing with people. Look at any civilization, right? Or anybody that eats vegan meat. Go to the district attorney's office, get a record of all the murderers, and check their diet. Bet them niggas wasn't vegan. Niggas is not in the club killing niggas on a vegan diet. Because if they conscious enough to be on a vegan diet, they conscious enough to not be indulging in ignorance, which means they wouldn't be around ignorant motherfuckers. The average person. I'm not gonna speak for all. So with that being said, go get a list of all the rapists and murderers and then check their diet. I guarantee you 90% of them eat meat. Huh? Okay. So with that being said, let's keep it kicking, right? The animal plane, red. Meat is acidic and takes you straight to your lower self, survival. See? This is what meat does. This is what meat does. Now, this is the pH scale, right? Alkaline is over here. Neutral is right here, heart chakra, the middle way. And your lower self is right here. Notice this is the color of the chakras. Same color electromagnetic spectrum. As you can see, alkaline food, higher self. Alkaline food, higher self. Acidic food, lower self. Black community, okay? Black community, meat eating motherfuckers, lower self. And niggas run around the project all day in their lower self and can't understand why. All right? Because your entire existence is based on survival and fear. Period. So let's keep it kicking. The physical and spiritual effects of eating meat, part 4, right? Meat is acidic and lowers the spiritual level of vibration. It takes us straight to the red part of the pH scale, which is known as our lower self. Now, it is no coincidence that the pH scale is the color of the chakras. pH literally means potential of hydrogen. Remember, your body is made up of 85% water. So that being said, hydrogen, water, is the #1 conductor of electricity. Don't believe me? Get in the tub and throw a radio on that motherfucker and see what happens. So that being said, our bodies are 85% hydrogen, which is water. And alkaline foods electrify our bodies, raising our spiritual frequencies. Remember, in our most powerful states, we give whites cancer. The Western diet, aka standard American diet, was forced on us to keep us vibrating at a low frequency. Now, with that being said, look at this man. chakras, right? Look at this. This could be a man or a female. Look at this entity, right? This humanoid being. Purple highest self, red lowest self. Look at the pH scale, potential hydrogen. Acidic, red lowest self, alkaline highest self. Your diet puts you in different states of your own being. Your average motherfucking nigga diet don't even go past 2. Let's just be real. You niggas is at 2. Out of 14 on the pH scale, half you niggas don't go past 2. So that being said, yeah, this is what's wrong with our community. Because we're not eating spiritually. We're eating egotistically and demonically. Now, here we go. And we're encompassing everything that comes with that. Now, the physical and spiritual effects of eating meat, part 5, right? Each chakra creates a body or level in which we exist. Altogether, we have 12 levels in which we exist, but we will now only be focusing on the basic 7 levels of existence. Each chakra connects the body to the planet Earth through the atmosphere, which I'll show on the next slide. From there, we pierce different dimensions of the universe, aka different levels of ourselves in total being. Meat weakens this connection along with fluoride water. By weakening our connection to our higher selves, we can no longer speak with the Creator or manifest our realities correctly. Meat spiritually weakens us and is literally the reason our prayers do not get answered. Facts. Now, that being said, universe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is the universe that you would say is God. So this is the different octaves of yourself that get you to your highest quantum self, right? Now keep that in mind. These are different earth chakras, right? Now these are different portals that your body exits the planet Earth and souls enter the planet Earth upon reincarnation and death. For example, if you looking to reincarnate and come into this planet, you can't just come in any door, just like your house. Motherfucker, you don't come through your house through the window, you come through the front or the back door. Same thing with the earth. You come through these chakra portals in order to reach these land masses and inhabit a vessel, aka your mother, the womb of your mother. So that being said, when you die, you leave out of these as well. Now, with that being said, I'm going to prove my point. Right? Stay with me, family. Your level of existence, right? Your level of existence or the level of yourself that you are currently living in will determine the density of your body at that time. The higher you vibrate, the lighter you become. The lower you vibrate, the heavier you become. Eating meat causes you to vibrate low and become more dense. If you are too dense, you cannot pierce the levels of the atmosphere and connect back to the universe. A feather cannot be contained by a mass body of water of oceans because it is too light and will always ascend. This is the same with our souls. The lighter we become, the more we ascend. Different light beings and entities exist within different layers of the atmosphere and etheric realms. They are manifested through smoke. Meat makes your etheric body stink on the ethereal plane and causes the angelic or light being ancestors to no longer wish to be around you. This is like sitting next to someone in a public place who stinks. You immediately wish to leave their presence. You immediately wish to leave the presence of that person immediately. The smell also attracts spiritual parasites, just like garbage attracts parasites, who will come and attach to you and feed off of your energy. A bad diet causes the soul to be too weak and too ill prepared to ascend during death. Thus, one becomes stuck in the lower planes of the atmosphere as a ghost, waiting to be freed by a spirit guide or until it's their time to reincarnate and make themselves spiritually strong enough to ascend once again, which I'll show on the next slide. So with that being said, family, let me show y'all something. This is the atmosphere, right? We live here in the troposphere. You got the stratosphere, mesosphere, where meteorites catch on fire, and then you have the thermosphere, where it's cold as hell, hence thermosphere. And you have the exosphere, which is outer space. The exosphere is when you have exited the last 1, 2, 3, 4 up and coming atmospheres. Now, why is this important? If you throw a feather in the ocean can never drown a feather because the density of the feather is too light. It always floats. Now, when you eat food and you get tired and you want to sleep, and they say, oh, you got the itis, that means you're full. That means you ate too much. And your soul is now so heavy and your body has become so dense that it literally has to go to sleep and reboot itself just to try to kick out some of the garbage early that you put in it. So you made yourself too dense. So just like when you get sad or when you get your heart broke, you get a heaviness in your chest. Your soul is literally getting heavy. So your diet is making your soul more dense or more heavy. So now why is this important? when you die, you won't have enough electrical charge to circumnavigate, right? And leave the motherfucking planet. You'll be too weak to project yourself out of the atmosphere. And you'll become what we call a motherfucking ghost. You'll be trapped here. So with that being said, if you didn't like it here now, I'm pretty sure you won't like it here after you outside of this body. So with that being said, your diet is for your spirit. The entire point of physical reality is not only to spiritually evolve and learn, but to prepare for ascension. Period. Now, this is what your soul looks like when it's weak, right? Energy field and chakras of health, left, unhealthy on the right, right? Now, this is a healthy chakra person. You see their auras all healthy, everything's balanced, all of those chakras are the same size. Now, that's important because over here, where you see on this diagram on the right, his chakras are weak. Now, this one is let's say this one's small like the size of a penny. Let's say this one's the size of an orange. His chakra portals are not balanced. So now if your chakra is small as hell, they're the size of a penny, it's not commuting enough energy. It's not inputting enough energy inside and outside of your being. If your chakras are too big, then they're commuting too much energy in and out of your being. So your chakras have to be balanced. And your diet helps to balance out your chakras. And once your chakras are balanced and healthy, vibrant, healthy and are at a healthy vibratory state, then you'll have enough frequency to project your goddamn self out into the atmosphere. So that being said, your diet is directly responsible for your level of ascension. Period. Now, heaven and hell are states of being. Okay, heaven or hell are states of being within oneself. These states are achieved physically through one's diet, emotionally through love or hate, and mentally through knowledge or ignorance, and spiritually through one's experience. Note, everything you allow yourself to experience is just a reflection of your current level of consciousness, as well as how you feel about yourself mentally, or thinking. Our thinking process, in reality, as we know it, has become unnatural. Therefore, we allow ourselves to intake physical foods which reflect that. Okay? I'm going to read that one more time. Our thinking process, in reality, as we know it, has become unnatural. Therefore, we allow ourselves to intake physical foods which reflect that. Love and hip hop is candy for the mind. McDonald's and Starburst is candy for the body. Period. Now, with that being said, heaven or hell, right? As you can see, the lower self is your lower emotions. Your higher self is your higher emotions. Your lower self is the lower level of your psychology. Your higher self is the higher level of your psychology. Whether you're eating acidic or alkaline foods will determine if you're in your higher or your lower self. Period. Heaven or hell is a state of being determined by your diet and your psychological self. So with that being said, as we come to the end of this lecture, let me draw this in y'all head. Your diet is causing you to allow animals to be senselessly murdered. Your diet is causing you to contribute to the destruction of our goddamn planet. Your diet is causing you to have your body become infested with parasites. Your body is causing you to become emotionally and psychologically unstable and unbalanced. Your drug and alcohol abuse is causing you to be demonically possessed by entities that you can't get rid of because you're ignorant to the fact that you're even possessed in the first place. Okay, and most importantly, your diet is stopping your spiritual ascension while in this body and out this body. So your diet is the number one cause of why you're not in tune with the planet or why you're not conscious to what you're doing, because you're not eating to spiritually ascend as well as recycle and replenish the land. You're eating to consume and fulfill a lower self desire in regards to catering to your motherfucking taste buds. So with that being said, family, is the taste buds more important than the spirit? Is the Europeans' advice more important than the ancestors' advice? So that being said, we must get back to spiritually dieting, okay, instead of standard American diet. So the point of this presentation was not only give you the sciences of what food does, not only give you the chakras that each color of certain foods affect, but it was to give you the fact that you become so out of tune with yourself that you don't realize you are contributing to not just the destruction of your own self, but certain animals and certain planetary beings, and consequently, and last but not least, the destruction of the very planet that you live on. So with that being said, family, wake your ignorant ass up and stop eating that bullshit if you don't have to. Because remember, the ancestors ate it only when they had to, and they didn't waste not a goddamn part of whatever they ate. So even when you have to, I don't know, one of you niggas might get kidnapped, escape, and nigga end up in the last, I don't know, and you might have to eat meat. But understand that you are taking a life for a reason. Because there's no reason why you should take a life for no reason. So that being said, family, I love y'all. I'm about to jump in the chat with y'all. Let me know if you enjoyed the live stream. It's always fire every time. Y'all know how I do. I do this from the guidance of the ancestors.